Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Just Shauna here to talk about some friggin' books. I have 5 books to talk about today. Let's just get into it so I don't talk for fucking ever. The first book was a reread, Soulless by Gail Carriger. This was a reread and it was on my seasonal TBR as one of the reread choices. This is an adult paranormal fantasy. It's set in Victorian England. Werewolves and vampires and ghosts are all a known thing. They're public and they're living in the world. Hey, stop it! Get out of here. I'm sitting on my little ottoman and this is Gigi's favorite thing to climb. She's climbing it right now. So excuse if you can hear her little scritches. She's like in the little toddler kitten phase where she just wants to fuck with everything. So this is one of my faves. We have Alexia Terabati, who is soulless, preternatural. If she touches a vampire or a werewolf, they will become mortal again while she's touching them. And if she touches a ghost's body, wherever the body is, it will be exorcised and they will be gone. They won't be a ghost anymore. And I just love Alexia. Like, she's just so funny. And I've seen some reviews on Goodreads where people say that like she's a jerk and like she's mean to her friend, her best friend, Ivy. Ivy is just like a ridiculous, fluffy person. She's just, hey, stop that. And she wears ridiculous hats and she's kind of like flighty and whatever. And Alexia, part of like her being soulless means that she doesn't have regular human emotions. And I don't know, I like that about her. And while she will sit there and make fun of her best friend and to her face and in her own head saying like mean things about like her stupid hats and stuff, but then if someone else says something about her, she will defend her. And I don't know, I don't mind that she like picks on her friend. Kitty, why are you so cute? Why are you so cute and also so bad? Huh? How is it possible that you're so cute and so bad? Can you stop playing with my tripod, please? Pretty please? Oh. I have already picked up the second book. I'm rereading the whole series right now, so it's a good time. It's just fun. I don't know, I just love it. Like, this is just pure Alexia. She's getting yelled at for something, for putting herself in danger, basically. And this guy says, I suspect that is precisely what the vampire was thinking when he found you without a chaperone. An unmarried female alone in a room in this enlightened day and age? Why, if the moon had been full, even I would have attacked you. He's a werewolf. Alexia gave him the once-over and reached for her brass parasol. My dear sir, I should like to see you try. I just love her ass. And just the writing style, the authorial voice just works for me. Right here on the first page, for Miss Alexia had been born without a soul, which, as any decent vampire of good blooding knew, made her a lady to avoid most assiduously. A description of some guy. He was a plumpish young man, adorned with a pair of dented spectacles and a hairline that looked like it anticipated imminent demise. I don't know, I just think the writing style is so funny to me. So yeah, I enjoyed my reread, needless to say. On my 1 to 10, I gave it an 8, which translates to 4.5 pushinicorns. Next, I finished A Queen in Hiding by Sarah Kozloff. I have filmed an individual review for this. I think it would be up already whenever this video goes up. Pretty sure, so I'll link it above. This book was published in January, the second book published in February, the third book published in March, and the fourth book will be published this month in April. It's a 4-book epic adult fantasy series. We follow a cast of characters, but we primarily are following Queen Cressa, her daughter, the heir to the throne of her queendom, Cerulia. And then there's a couple other characters we're following, the regent, Matwick, soldier in an opposing army named Sumroth. Well, he's not a soldier, he's like a captain. A kid who lives in one of the free states in this world, Thalen, as he goes off to get an education. And then a couple of other characters too, but those are kind of the main ones. In the prologue, we learn that the queen has been gone from the queendom for 12 years and there's no queen ruling at the moment. And then in the first chapter, we jump back in time to when the queen is still at the palace. I won't get super into it since I have done an individual review, but I did enjoy this. I didn't feel like I got to know the characters as well as I would have wanted to. Some of them felt pretty superficial. So for that, I rated it a little bit lower. And then the pacing, and this is probably just because it's a lot of political intrigue and maneuverings and strategy and stuff like that, which I liked and I'm very curious about. Like, my interest is piqued for the rest of the series. I'm definitely going to continue. But that does make for a bit of a slower paced read for me. But yeah, the plot and everything, I'm super curious to see how things play out. On my 1 to 10, I gave this a 6.83, which translates to 3.5 pushinicorns. And then, recently, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen a lot of clips of True Blood. I rewatched the entire series of True Blood. It had been a long time, and I love True Blood. Oh my God. But that sparked me wanting to continue my reread of the Sookie Stackhouse series, which is what the show is based on. I read the first 4 books last year and meant to continue, and then I just didn't. But that like reanimated my desire to read it, because I really want to read the rest of the book series and then film a video talking about the major differences between the show and the books, and just kind of discuss, even though it's a completely irrelevant TV series and book series at this point. I mean, it's been done for so many years. Like, I think the TV show has been done for like 9 years. So it's incredibly irrelevant, but I don't give a fuck. I love it and I want to talk about it, so I'm going to. So this is book 5 of the series, Dead as a Doornail. I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but this series in general, we're following Sookie, who is a telepath, and she can hear people's thoughts. And in this world, vampires have come out of the coffin. They are mainstreaming, and they're just living out in the world. And True Blood is one of the synthetic bloods that have been created, and that's what the name of the show is. That's one major difference. In the show, True Blood is the only option, whereas in the book, that's just one of the brands. And in the books, the synthetic blood was not created with the intent of vampires mainstreaming. It was created for like medical reasons, for hospitals and ambulances to have. But anyways, I digress. And yeah, Sookie lives in this little podunk town in Louisiana, and she starts, getting into this world of vampires and other things like werewolves and shifters and such. And every book is just, there's a mystery involved. Like, each book has 1 or 2 core like mysteries that we're trying to solve, like whodunits. People are showing up dead or whatever. Someone tried to kill someone. Who did it? We don't know, and why? What's their motivation? There's a shit ton of characters, and in this one, I felt like I was a little bored. The mysteries that happen, and I think probably because there's not much of romance in this one. Throughout the series, Sookie has various suitors and lovers, and in this one, she's just kind of doing her own thing, which is fine, and Sookie's a very independent woman. Even when she is kind of dating, she still is like, I do what I want, and I love her for that. But it made it a little kind of boring, I guess, that like no sexy times were happening, no really like major flirtatious times were happening. And this comes right after book 4, which I won't say too much about, but I will just say Eric. So I just always want them to be together, and so her not dating him makes me like sad. So on my 1 to 10, I gave this a 6.3, which translates to 3 pushinicorns. And then another one, part of my seasonal TBR. This was the classic pick for my seasonal TBR, and that is Foundation by Isaac Asimov. My dumbass didn't realize that this is a series. I thought it was a standalone. It's definitely not. It's adult sci-fi, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's this sci-fi world. People live on different planets within the galaxy and yada yada. And then at the very beginning, we have someone who is creating this foundation, which he says is going to basically save their empire. But there is going to be a fall to the empire, but this foundation will basically lessen the negative impact of this fall of the empire. But it's not going to happen for like 300 years, and he can tell this by using science and math known as psychohistory. I don't know. I don't know if it was supposed to make sense. It's a made-up thing. it didn't make any fucking sense to me. I was like, what? Okay. But I just went with it, like, sure, this is the thing. Great. Cool. Sci-fi just isn't my jam, you guys. It took me a second to get into this, and then once I did, oh god, fuzzies. Jesus. Didn't realize there's like lint hanging out. Once I did get into it, the writing style itself, it's not super dense. The writing style is a pretty quick, easy read. But the content, I don't know. There are parts towards the beginning and kind of like earlier on in the middle where I was like, okay, all right, I can get down with this. I'm feeling it. A character that I liked and like the strategy and like political maneuverings that he was doing were interesting, you know? And then as it went on, I got less and less and less interested until the final like 100 pages of the book, I real heavily skimmed. I'm not gonna call it a DNF because I did read it, but did I read it thoroughly? No, I didn't. And then I read like a chapter by chapter synopsis or summary or whatever. So I know what happened, and then I was like, oh fuck, this is a series, and you don't really find out how things wind up in this book, and I'm not gonna read the rest of the series. I don't care. I barely cared about this book. It's a miracle that I didn't DNF it, honestly. I think the only reason I didn't is because it was my seasonal TBR pick for classics, and I was like, oh, I need to do it, you know? And I just feel like I need to really give sci-fi a chance more, but man, it's not for me. On my 1 to 10, I gave it a 5.16, which translates to 2.5 Pushinicorns. On Goodreads, this will get rounded up to a 3. Next up, I read Fortuna Sworn by K.J. Sutton, and the only reason I heard about this book was that Becca at Becca and the Books tweeted about it, and she said that it was, oh, how did she describe it? So Becca described it as, for those of you asking, this book is like if Sookie Stackhouse wasn't a dumb bitch and married the Court of Nightmares version of Rhysand, and I am living. And I saw that and I was like, oh shit, bitch, I need this book. And it's a self-published book, and yeah, I immediately went and got it. I was gonna buy a physical copy, but I wanted it like now. So I went and bought the ebook version. And the second book is out already, Restless Slumber. I'm gonna go buy that one and start it probably today because, oh my God, I really loved this book. And that is such a great description of it. Like, honestly, that's exactly what it is. So we have our main character, Fortuna, who is something other than human. I won't say what she is. It's revealed pretty early in the book, but she's something other than human. And in this world, there are fairies and vampires and werewolves and shapeshifters and various things like this. And they get captured and they can be enslaved by people. Like, people will capture them, enslave them, and then sell them to people. So it's not great being different. And at the very start of the book, we learn that Fortuna's brother has been missing for 2 years. Her parents are dead, and she works in a little bar in a little podunk town. I mean, hi, Sookie. And yeah, so there's lots of similarities, and if you love Sookie and those books and that kind of world, I think you will really, really enjoy this. But it's different because instead of focusing on vampires, we're focusing on the fairy world. And Fortuna, very early on in the book, in the first couple chapters, she encounters this fairy dude and things ensue. I don't want to say too much. I can't remember what exactly is in the synopsis. But she basically has a way to try to get her brother back. And so there we go. Things happen. It's a dark fantasy. There are some real aggressive things that happen. Later on, violence, gore, stuff like that. And oh my God, the writing in this book, I thoroughly enjoyed. And you can just tell the care that the author put into this story. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, I might self-publish someday. I still haven't decided, and I'm not even anywhere near kind of officially making that decision yet. And I'm definitely going to be getting a physical copy of it as long as I really enjoy the second book, because, you know, that can always change. But if I enjoy that second book, and it's going to be a 6-book series, So there will be 4 more coming. And if I enjoy that second book, I'm buying both of these in physical copies and awaiting probably not so patiently for the rest of the books. Because, yeah, it was just a good time. There were some things that happened that maybe didn't make total sense to me. Just like things in the plot where I was like, wait, would that make sense? Or would they do that? You know, stuff like that. But they were very minor. There were some reveals, oh man, that were great. Like, she set up these reveals so well. And I really, really love Fortuna, our main character. The stakes are really high. And the way it ended, oh man, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give spoilers. But yeah, the way it ended, I was like, bitch, what? Oh my God, I have to get the second book like right now. So yeah, if you like fairy stuff, dark fantasy, fairy stuff, and if you like a world similar to that of like Sookie and True Blood, where it's like these creatures are, you know, regular humans are aware of these creatures, I think you'll really enjoy this. This is going on my list of like surprises for the year because I don't know, I just hadn't heard of it, like completely unheard of book to me, and I'm so glad Becca had it and described it that way. And yeah, because whew, loved it. On my 1 to 10, I gave this a 7.83, which translates to 4.5 Pushinicorns. And there we have it. Those are the 5 books. I think I talked too long, as per usual. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.